Thank you so much, and I'm so glad this is happening. And Manny, I'm so glad you're here. Because I just used to read about you in the magazines and what have you. And you know, when family shows up, it means something more than any of us. I think from what I read about your father. Anyway, this is a story about before I met Scott and became a friend with him. I knew his father somewhat through some other, I guess, meetings, what have you. And his father was at Bally's with Sammy Davis Jr. When I was a kid growing up in Newport, Kentucky, across the river from Cincinnati, Sammy was the man. If Sammy was on TV, it's, we got to watch Sammy. Sammy's on. And he went to play the Coliseum in Cincinnati and filled it up, and all the newspapers knew. Only rock bands were filling those places up. So we go to see, I'll say Jerry and Sammy at Bally's, and knockout show. Afterwards, I was invited to come back where there was a reception room. One dressing room was Jerry's, and one was Sammy's. And I wanted to meet Sammy Davis Jr., and there was, of course, a ton of people there. And when I went to see him, I went, oh, I really enjoyed your show, Mr. Davis. And he was very nice, but there was a lot of people, and it's like, I wasn't getting out of this what I wanted. Does any of you know what, not getting out, like, got to find a way. Well, in his show, he introduced the song, Music of the Night from Phantom of the Opera. He introduced that song, and everybody loved it. So I waited to that exact moment when I could approach him low-key, and I said, I want to tell you, that song from the Phantom of the Opera is sensational, and you used the prop just perfectly, because he used a little mask for the prop. I said, the way you minimalized it. And all of a sudden, I had 100% attention from Sammy Davis Jr. asking me, it wasn't too much, you know, was the tempo good? Did you like the rise? And he's asking me. And I'm feeling like, oh my God, I better have the right answers for this. And then as it broke up, and there were still people coming in, I think a couple of the stepbrothers were there. Jerry had one, was a godfather to, Jerry was one of the kids, but the memory I will always have of Sammy Davis Jr. was him, they brought his dancing shoes. And he took a towel, and he took one shoe this way and the other shoe that way, so he wrapped them in that towel. And I'll never forget that as I think, that's it, it's the shoes. It's the youth, it's the dancing, and I just think it's so wonderful that they have this, and hopefully every year we'll have this in honor of probably the greatest all-around entertainer of the 20th century. Thank you very much.